You tuned in. You're watching. Thank you. Yes. But here it is. This is the first official extended review for a movie. And of course, it's got to be Suicide Squad because there is so much to talk about in this movie. But we didn't have enough time to just put it to 5 minutes. So we're going to do a full extended version. And we're just going to jump right into it. And wait a second. Wait, pause for 1 second. If you don't want to hear spoilers, just stop the video and click on our non-spoiler review video, which should be popping up right about here.
Wait. Why did they watch it first?
Yeah, that's the other one. Why you don't watch it? Whatever, so let's just get started here. We're going to talk about Deadshot first. Everything. Let's just go on.
Oh, yeah, let's get it. Let's get it.
What about Deadshot? What do you think?
Alright, so, I mean, like I said before, Will Smith killed this role. I mean, I loved it. Honestly, this was a better introduction to Deadshot than I could have wanted from, like, the comic book version to the movies. Now, like, when I think of Will Smith as Deadshot, it's like, you know, if you're gonna get into a movie, you gotta make the audience like him, and that honestly, they did it with his daughter. They did the whole thing, like his hatred towards Batman, and then just the whole, like, his motivation to get out of jail to take care of his child was just like I loved it. I loved it.
Of course, Will Smith brought what he brings, and you know, when I think Will Smith, I just think of him as being that great actor that you see him in Concussion, and for some reason, I'll talk to certain friends and they're like, oh, Will Smith is bringing his cheesiness. I'm like, when was Will Smith cheesy? I've never seen Will Smith as a cheesy. I see him, honestly, as an Academy Award winning actor, even though, you know, whatever may have happened there. In my mind, he is, because when you see him in Concussion, he was just such a great actor in that. In some other movies, he flopped with, like After Earth, but that was more of a movie for his son. But when he was in this movie, I thought he did a great job as Deadshot. The scene where he's on top of the car, just like boom, 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 boom.
Oh,
that was dope, man. I mean,
they lowered their guns like, this dude is a beast.
I like that, you know. And honestly, I thought one of his best scenes was whenever Batman showed up behind him and he's like, let's not do this in front of your daughter, Deadshot. I was like, ooh, I got all giddy, and then you saw him. You know, this is such star power. Will Smith and Ben Affleck on the same screen together, and they're both, you know, going at it. I thought that was a great scene. It's powerful, in my opinion. You know, you saw his motivation. You saw his daughter crying there, and Deadshot Will Smith. He did a great job. When you watch this video, know that we appreciate you, and know I need you to call me and do a movie sometime. Yeah.
And like Ben Affleck being Batman, I mean, that's the Batman that I know. That's the Batman I love. We're gonna get back into that in a little bit because I gotta get all giddy. I'm gonna geek out for a minute, but I'm sorry. All right, so next on the list,
Harley Quinn.
Let's get to Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
All right, so I liked Harley Quinn. I mean, for the time that she was on the screen, there were times that her jokes worked. There were times that they didn't work, but all around, I liked her on the screen. I wish they would have given her a hammer and not her bat, because the mallet, I'm sorry. But with the mallet, it just, it would have been so much better for her fighting with the mallet, because she just crushing people with it. Just hitting somebody with a baseball bat, it didn't seem like enough to me. Like, it's like, what does she really bring to the team other than jokes?
Yeah, I honestly like Harley a lot, and you know, she is one of the forefronts in the Suicide Squad comics, definitely in New 52 for sure, and so you got to make sure she's done right, and I thought they did a good job with her. I mean, I loved her accent. I thought that was good. You know, she's like, we're bad guys, that's what we do. You know, the little do type thing. I thought she was good. She had definitely a major plus to the film, and of course, you know, when her and Deadshot are the forefront of the film, you got to make sure they're done right, and they did a good job with them. You know, there's no major complaints. I'm excited to see her in more films to come. Of course, she's going to be there. She's going to be there. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, and then her and Jared Leto's Joker. It worked. It worked for the most part for the little bit of time we got with them, but it worked. All right, so as far as like Jai Courtney, I love that scene. I love that part. Now, like Jai Courtney, I mean, I really don't like him as an actor in all the movies I've seen him in so far. He was good in Spartacus.
I remember him from the latest Die Hard movie. I was like, holy God! I was like, man,
garbage,
man.
Hot garbage, lighted on fire. Garbage, stinky garbage.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was good in this movie. I mean, his comedy was perfect, spot on. Every joke was right where it needed to be inserted, where it worked. Everything with this little unicorn and all that.
Yeah. I honestly thought the unicorn was just a little too much. I thought that was that's just me. I thought it was just a little too extra, like little cute little fun. Oh, little Pinky. I thought it was funny, but it was a little too much. I mean, when you look at this whole film as a whole, of course, I'm sure it's been said from other people, but this was their Guardians of the Galaxy
really was.
DC take on it. And it was like, when you have that, you got to have the comic relief. And there was a lot of that in this film. There were a lot of funny scenes, a lot more than what I wanted to. I feel like they kind of took the Thor 2 approach, Thor: The Dark World. It was too much comedy in that film. And this one, I feel like it was just a smidgen. Now, I'm not saying it's horrible. Don't hate me for saying it, but I thought there was just a little too much. And I'm not one of those people where it's like, oh, DC, the first movie didn't have enough comedy. No, this one had too much comedy. What do you do? I'm not hating. I'm just saying.
Don't hate on DC, man. Because DC will come after you.
Captain Boomerang, I thought he was great. I mean, of course, you know, for him to bring what he has brought to the movie, and it's like you haven't really seen Captain Boomerang except for the DC what was that crossover with Flash and Arrow, and that was kind of cool. He was kind of like some killer guy, but I liked him a lot. He had the beard, he had the full lamb chop beard and everything like that. He was funny. He was drinking, running off, drinking.
That was
stuff.
I
liked good.
Man, I liked. I mean, like you said about the comedy. Like, I liked all the comedy. I think the thing that they messed up was they got there were good actors that were doing good comedy, and then they got the bad actors doing bad comedy. It was just. Certain people like Rick Flag, his comedy, like every time he made a joke, I'm like, man, get off the screen.
Rick Flag, look,
you don't deserve to be
your
on
boy
the
was later on the list, but we're gonna talk about him right now. This dude, I can't stress it enough. This guy, I know they originally had Tom Hardy on the list, and they were gonna get he was gonna be doing it, then they got someone else to do it. But I feel like who they got for him, I'm not even gonna say his name. That's how much I don't like him.
Man, RoboCop. That's all I'm gonna give him. RoboCop.
Yeah, he like I said in the other review, it sounded like he was talking like he had gibberish in his mouth. For the first part, I was like, what are you doing, man? Like, it just...
And that's my problem with him, like, when it came to, the scene with Ben Affleck and then him going against Batman and everything, as little as it was, you just felt that star power from the two of them. When Will Smith was on the screen with the guy who played Rick Flag, I keep on forgetting his name, it just doesn't even matter, honestly. But every time they were on the screen together, it was just like... Will Smith is acting circles around you, and you just look terrible. Like, your acting is terrible. I didn't like him at all.
One scene in there in the movie, you guys should remember it. Rick Flag says to Will Smith, he's like, when the shooting starts, you're going to turn down and run. And Will Smith is like, and I know that was probably he's scripted to do that, but I feel like in real life, Will Smith is like, man, you suck right now. I don't want to outact you.
I honestly think that Will Smith, those scenes... It's like after the scene was over, he was like, they were like, oh yeah, how was the scene? He's like, my part was good.
My part was good.
I don't know about him. I mean, I don't know how much he's getting paid to do this movie, but I'm making some money.
What about your boy Killer Croc?
Honestly, I like Killer Croc. I mean, size-wise, I didn't like how he was just a little, he was literally an inch bigger than Deadshot, and he wasn't even really muscular. It was I liked the look of him. I just wish they'd have got him bigger. Like, if you'd have got the guy that they were going to get to play King Shark, the guy from The Longest Yard, I'd like to play football. I like him. And I like, if he was the Killer Croc, I know they threw out King Shark because of CGI and everything, but they could have used him as Killer Croc. I mean, he's Cock Diesel. I mean, big. So, I like the actor they got to play him. It's just, size-wise, he didn't work for me.
Killer Croc was an interesting character to me because every adaptation of Killer Croc I've seen, whether it's from the animated series or you see him in the Arkham games, there's different forms there, but this film version was definitely different. He had the whole brother thing going on, everything he was, I want to see B.E.T. And I liked it, and I'm not saying different is bad, but it was just different. But one scene that happened, it was the bar scene. Harley Quinn is serious. She's saying hey, you gotta own that. She's talking to Diablo, your boy, and she's like, you gotta own that. She's like, all of us are ugly on the inside, but except for him, he's ugly on the outside too. And then his response is, he says, not me. I'm beautiful. I was like, oh, what?
It just went on way.
Yeah, it was a long scene. They kind of just the camera was just on him, and he was just sitting there. He's like,
nah, shorty. I'm beautiful.
I'm like,
you're like, I mean, come on, man.
It was funny. It was kind of. I mean,
like you can't tell me they cut that scene out of the trailer where they're all asking what they want and everything, and then they put that scene.
Hey, they put 10 minutes of looking at Killer Croc. They could have used 10 minutes to put Jared Leto in.
Yeah.
Woo! Don't get started with like we ain't there. Further on the list.
All right, look, okay. This is gonna be quick.
Katana. Oh, you talking about Katana?
Yeah, Katana. I mean, like I can't even say I liked her because I felt like if they took her out of the movie, it still would have been. This story would have been exactly what it was. Like there was a scene where she was like talking to her dead husband on this thing, and I'm like, oh, she's still here? She's still in it? Like I didn't even know she was in the movie.
Yeah,
still.
whenever I first saw her get on a plane, I actually forgot that she was even in the movie. Like that was her first initial scene, but from all the marketing, I forgot she was in the movie. Personally, I like Katana, and the problem with her was I feel like there should have been more. When I saw her looking at the sword, I personally wanted to see more of that story because I felt like there was a lot of emotion. It was very similar to the Diablo character where it was like, you know, he had a lot with him. There was a lot of story with him, with his whole family, him killing him and whatnot. And with her, I wanted to see like that whole story. Now they mentioned it, he's like, you know, Dip Man over here. Yeah, she, her husband died from the sword. You know, shut up. But I wanted to see more of that. Sadly, we didn't get to see more of that, but hopefully maybe there's a cut where they show more. What about your girl, Enchantress? That was supposed to be my accent.
Honestly, when they first introduced the Enchantress, I was thinking to myself, like, all right, they got like the exorcism and all this stuff in there. When she puts her hand out, turns around, she's like Enchantress, this demonic looking thing. And I mean, I like the whole, like, you know, possessed. She looks like she's like something from the exorcism movies and everything. I like that, but as soon as her brother fixes her and makes her look like she's like some old, like I don't know, she looked like somebody from Thor. She looked like somebody from Thor on, like, you know what I mean? Like I just. It didn't make sense, and then now every time she's like, I know what you want. I can give you what you... Why? Like, I like the whole exorcism thing. I wish they'd have kept that going. Yeah. I just know the family audience is going to see this, so I guess they had to do it.
I definitely like the more savage her a lot more than that other version she did. But I'm a weird person. Honestly, I thought Enchantress was a good addition. I didn't know she was the villain in the movie. I thought Common was the villain. I thought Common was the villain in the movie. So when I saw hey Joker, hey Joker, when he got shot, I was like, oh, he did. But yeah, I was surprised for me to see that she was the villain. And that end scene, when they were fighting her, it reminded me of like that fight. And bear with me, I'm not saying it was a connection, but it reminded me just a little bit of the X-Men Origins Wolverine. Calm down, not in the bad way, not in the bad. The fight scene where Sabretooth and Wolverine were fighting Deadpool or whatever. I can't even call him Deadpool.
No, I ain't Deadpool.
But when he was teleporting and they were fighting him, because it was kind of cool. It was like it was done a lot better. Where it was like she was teleporting, her trying to get her, and she's like doing stuff. She's like kind of hitting people and stuff like that. I personally like that. I thought she was a good character. I like how she tried to woo them into joining her, because you got to think one great thing about this movie that I really like was that they were villains. They were indeed villains, and you saw that when Slipknot and Captain Boomerang were working together. Will Smith and Harley Quinn trying to do some little deal going on, and she's like, "Hey, look, we're kind of the same thing." And I think she was kind of sincere, where she's like, "Join me, and we'll work together."
Yeah.
You know, now she would have made sure she was the top dog, but I feel like she was serious because she was a villain. She knew they were villains, and that was kind of cool to see that villain dynamic actually be in there. I don't know.
I ain't like Enchantress, man. I don't know. Yeah, you need this. Yeah. All right, now let's go. Let's go over it. El Diablo real quick. All right, El Diablo. I like what they tried to do with him, but it just wasn't believable to me. Like they had this scene where he's with his family and all sitting there and everything. I mean, you got the tattoos all over his face. He looks like a demon already. Right. He got his kids sitting at the table. He's like, yeah, you know. But no, I wish they would have had it where he didn't have the tattoos and say he got the tattoos later after he killed his family when it was all crazy, when he killed all those people in the prison yard. Yeah. I wish they would have did it back then where it's like you saw the transformation from him being a family man to, oh my God, I killed my family. It's all tragic. All this stuff. I wish that they would have shown that, because him sacrificing himself at the end basically, it just was like, oh, he's like, I lost my family. This is my new family, even though I just helped them fight the bad guys in one scene. Like,
yeah, I mean, I thought he was a character that was going to die a lot sooner.
Yeah.
So for me, I ended up liking him more than what I thought I was going to be able to. Oh, they shooting! Oh no, it's all right. We good. We just filming in the hood. We good. So we ain't gonna be on the next video. No, they died in the hood. No, whatever. But I honestly didn't think he was gonna be in the film as much as he was, and for him to be in it as much as he was, and for him to have probably one of the more fleshed out backstories than other characters was really good. The whole him with the tattoos, like you said, you wanted to see him earlier. I didn't have much of a problem with it, only because I didn't have much invested in him because I thought he was gonna die sooner. So I don't know. Speaking of fast deaths, your boy Slipknot. I mean, he was honest.
I mean, we all knew.
You see the guy.
We all knew. He wasn't in any pictures with anybody else on set.
No.
It was like the one thing, like when they did his character backstory, everybody has these scenes where you see him shooting, fighting.
Yeah.
His character backstory scene, like in the highlights, was him just shooting him, flying up. That's all you saw in any of the marketing, anything.
And just like any Suicide Squad, you need someone who's gonna be expendable. You need someone to be made an example of, and it was him.
I mean, they killed him right off the helicopter. It was like, like we're gonna get away. And then Captain Boomerang was like, "Nah, I'm done. I ain't going nowhere." Right. You see how he threw his boomerang and just ran to the wall and jumped to the wall.
That was funny though. When he threw it, he saw Katana coming out. He's like, "Oh, here we go!" Oh, he saw it coming.
But then you saw, then Slipknot, he just got blown up.
He's all slow.
That was crazy.
Slow as heck. Amanda Waller.
She was good. Now that scene, the scene where it just got me, and I was like, that's Amanda Waller from the comic books, from the cartoon, from everything I've read, is when Rick Flag walked in saying all this stuff in front of all these people that they weren't like classified to hear it, and this lady just went through the room like, pick, they're all gone. She was like, that's above their pay grade, they're out of there.
See, for me, it was whenever she was talking to Rick Flag, Rick Flag was like, of course he's got dip in his mouth. They warned me about you, and he's like, heard the stories, and then she was over there like, no one ever believes the stories. I was like, no. He's like, no one ever does. I was like, no, she's a thug, because she's a threat. She's serious.
No, she was a
but
beast.
at the same time, she still has her motives to kind of do something good, but she doesn't care what she steps on, what she does to get there. So let's hit on the biggie. We got to hit on one of the biggies, and that is, of course, your boy Jared Leto, Joker. Ha 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 ha. What did you think of your boy Jared Leto, whatever you want to say?
I honestly liked what I saw in it. I mean, like, there were some scenes that worked for me 100%. There's some scenes that I had to force myself to like the scene with him and Common. Like, that's the infamous Harley Quinn. I didn't like that scene that much. Now when he was looking at Common, when Common was like, when she was all over him, he was just had that look in his face.
Yeah.
I like that crazy look he had in his eyes, and I mean, I just didn't see enough of him. Like, I can't even grade anything I seen on him, just because like the first videos that came out on the set of Suicide Squad was like him talking to Harley Quinn when she's still a doctor, she has the glasses on, they're out, and he's actually dialogue back and forth and everything. It's an actual scene, and they took it out of the movie. I mean, took it straight out. I mean, Jared Leto saying that, like, oh, there's enough Joker scenes in the movie for it to be a whole Joker movie. Like, I mean, like where?
And like I said in the spoiler free video, it was one of those things where the editing really came and bit them in the butt, because he was so hard. I can't fully process him, because he has so many more scenes to be there.
Oh yeah.
But they just took it out, and him having this completely different approach, and I really liked his approach, which was different, because you can't compare him to Heath Ledger. You can't compare him to Jack Nicholson, because he was doing his own thing. He's in his own lane doing his whole thing, so let's not compare him. It's going to be hard because, inevitably you're going to think about Heath Ledger because he did such a great job. But he did his own thing, but there was so little of him in that film that it's hard. But certain pieces of him I really liked. There was two big scenes I really liked of him. Then we're going to move on, which was whenever he came in the room and he's like, all that chit chat's going to get you hurt. He said that to the police, the guard from the prison, and he was talking to him, and he kissed the ring and did all that stuff.
Oh,
and then you could see that scene just cut off, and it's like, you know there's more to it.
Oh yeah,
And you see him about to get more and more crazy.
More to it.
And then my other favorite scene is whenever he's on the helicopter with the machine gun, Uzi, whatever it was, machine gun, and he's just like letting loose. He's like, he's just like laughing. That was a bad laugh.
Yeah.
But you hear him just laughing because that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see him do a laugh, and every time he's about to do a laugh, they kind of cut it off. So
I mean, they cut him down.
Dare I say, I want to say I'm leaning more towards I don't like him, but I'm not going to say I don't like him, but more leaning towards I don't like him because there wasn't enough in the footage I did see of him. He was just right about to get there, and then they cut him off. So I'm expecting more things. I'm excited to see more to come, but they need to release all his scenes, because if they don't, we're going to have to wait till his next movie, which is probably going to be him and Batman.
See, that's the only thing I don't understand. When you have him as the highlight of every trailer that comes out, and then you go see the movie, you find out that all those scenes in the trailers, that's either all you see of him in that scene, or they just took it completely out.
Heck, he had more FaceTime in the Purple Lamborghini music video than in the friggin' movie. So.
Which I don't understand that video. I mean, if you go have Jared Leto in it,
I don't think anyone does.
I just don't. Why do you have Joker coming? He's just walking by like he's just somebody who's cool with like Rick Ross. Why would you just
that guy was?
I wish they would have just did a video where it was just the Joker.
The guy's belly was like.
Yeah, he was.
If you watching this, bro,
that's a heart attack.
I don't want to be mean to people, but you can work out with me. We can do some laps, do some running. We can start slow. We'll build up, man. I'm serious. You see this video, we can work out, man.
He started making me feel bad.
Sorry, that was
yeah, man. No. But yeah, I mean, like as far as Jared Leto goes, we need to see more.
Need to see more.
And
last but certainly not least.
Oh, you know it.
Batman.
Batfleck.
And you know what? I feel like this was what we the very, very small scenes of Batman that we saw. I thought they were fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I thought they were great. Whenever he came behind Deadshot in that beginning scene, like during Christmas, I was like, "Ooh boy," because it's like we all know their majority of them are Batman villains, and it's like we want to see how they get in prison. And we got to see Deadshot, we got to see how Harley got in prison, and it was great to see him as Batman going around taking out villains.
Another thing I like, we didn't get to see it, but just hearing it was just great. He's like, yeah, the Killer Croc, he chased him out of Gotham, but he got chased out by the Bat.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a monster like that getting chased out by Batman,
pretty embarrassing.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole, don't let me do this in front of your daughter.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
that was great.
I was like, he ain't kill him? Oh my God, they're changing. Oh my
you know
God.
what? It was
He didn't kill
fantastic.
somebody.
He was so fantastic because he wasn't killing anyone. I was scared. I thought he was gonna come up. It's over, Deadshot.
See, but the only thing about the movie that, like, I mean, it's no one's saying it, but we all have thought it. Suicide Squad movie, Will Smith, all these characters, blah blah blah. What you really wanted to see when you went to see that movie was Jared Leto and Batman or Batfleck exchange dialogue. See how they work together. We didn't get none of that.
They didn't really talk.
Nothing.
He was just like,
hey, we got company, and then Batman like dives in the water. He's nowhere to be found. He just left his girl to die, which I think that's classic Joker.
Another big problem I saw with the movie, and it's like, this is something just me personally, I feel like this was a crutch for Joker, and it should have been written out, or at least written better, and that was that Harley Quinn, the way his relationship was with Harley Quinn was like, he was chasing after her, like he was like going to the end of the earth for her. Like the scene where you see him in his like hotel room on the top, he's got all those knives, and he like looks up and he's talking to his like right hand man. He looks like he's in distress because Harley's gone. And I think when that's the case, when he's in that much distress and he's going to the end of the world to save Harley, then he has a crutch. He then has a problem, something that someone can take as leverage. Because I feel like in this universe, if someone was to take Harley Quinn and put a gun to her head, Joker would be like, chill, right? Like, wait a second, you know, or something like that. Which I feel like, you know, in most adaptations, he's kind of just like, well, I don't care about her. Now, there was adaptations where he did, you know, care about her. In the comics, I know there was one where like he found out he did care about her, and he strapped her to a rocket, you know, because he didn't want to have those feelings.
But see, that's my thing. That's my thing about what you said that gets me like giddy about the next movie. Because what if the next movie he realizes that and he tries to kill her, or he leaves her for dead, and then that's where you got like the attack on Arkham, where she's like pissed off at him.
So
and everything. I mean, I just think if we also didn't get their whole story because there was so much film that was left out.
There was a lot that was cut out. So.
I mean, there's a release footage of him just slapping her. And like, I mean, she puts the gun in his head, he puts it down, he's like, oh, she's weak, slaps the mess out of her. I mean,
I'm not for the abuse, but it's just one of those things where I definitely want to see that he doesn't need her as much as it kind of seemed like it in this film. It seemed like in this film, like he really need, like she was like the love of his life, the best thing ever, and without her, there's a problem. Yeah, he was kind of like, I don't know.
It's like mopey.
Last but not least, of course, there was the overall plot and the editing of the film. And I said in the non-spoiler video that I thought the plot was pretty good. It was a very simplistic plot. And I thought it worked out. I stand by that. I thought it was very simple. It didn't have to be anything crazy for them. I felt like the editing is really what gave them a big problem. I feel from the jump of the movie, from the start of the movie, they started having editing errors because they started off with Deadshot and what he was doing, and they had his music with them, and it was like, cool, cool, cool. And then the scene stopped. And then it went to Harley Quinn, and she had her own music. And it was like, okay, you don't need to show each person with their own theme song. And then it seemed weird. Like, it seemed like it was just cut, go, start, stop, cut. It was just like, it just seemed like very, like, it was just cut really weird. Also, one scene that really hurt me was whenever they were protecting Rick Flag. They're like, we gotta stand around Rick Flag. We can't let him get kidnapped.
We die.
He dies, we die, whatever, type thing. They were all standing next to him and all that stuff.
Was corny.
And they were in the office type thing, and then there was like hordes of these monster ooze people coming at him, and then like the scene just stopped, and it was like, wasn't there just like 60 of them around here? And now they're gone. They're like, all right, next room. I was like, what?
Yeah, the editing was really bad. I mean, like, I didn't have as much of a problem with like the introduction when it was like she was pulling the fouls and it was giving you
I like that. I like that.
It's just now the one we haven't talked about. Spoiler, big spoiler. We got to see Captain Boomerang get taken down by the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was quick.
Yeah.
It was real quick, but I mean, it's the Flash. It's gonna happen fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always gonna happen fast if it's the Flash. But like, I liked it because you got to see Ezra Miller in the Flash suit. He got to say a Flash thing.
Yeah.
Guess
there's no honor among thieves.
And then it was just like, blah! Took him out real fast. I liked it. Well, I wish they would have showed like more of a throwing like them going back and forth fighting, and then him just taking them out. Because they just made it seem like he was like, hey, oh, you're a bad guy. Like, they made Captain Boomerang seem like he was like nobody.
Yeah.
And Flash was just that strong, that powerful.
Right. But yeah, you like Flash, though. You liked him in it. So, I couldn't stand that fool. I thought that cameo sucked. Yeah, I'm being honest with y'all. Yeah, you know what? Say what you gotta say in the comment section. I couldn't stand him. I can't stand him in that suit. I can't stand the actor in general. I am a Grant Gustin fan, and let it be known, homie. When I saw Flash in that little cameo in BVS, I was like, who is this dude in this story? He's like, When I saw his line in the Justice League trailer when he's like, that seems like an oversimplification. Oh, I don't have friends. No. Barry Allen to me has always been a smart person, someone who's able to control his speed force in ways that other people have not been able to. He's not a complete lame, but he's not exactly the coolest person. To me, he's someone who kind of gets the girl, but he's also someone who's like, not everything works out for the best of him. Clearly, the whole Flashpoint Paradox story, we're aware of that. But I just thought this actor who's portraying him and the way that they're going, I just don't like it. Maybe I've seen too much of different comics. Maybe I've seen too much Grant Gustin, but as of right now, I am not a fan of your boy. I don't like him, and I don't think I will like him unless he does something freaking amazing.
You know what I would have liked? Because, I mean, I know you said the costume, but could you imagine if the TV show Flash had a costume that, like, with that much of a budget where you can make it that nice? Because, I mean, I love the TV show. It's just my only problem with it was, I mean, the suit he's wearing, I mean, it's almost like the Ben Affleck Daredevil suit. Only it's close to it. The helmet's cool. Yeah. It's just once you get to the neck, it's just crap. I mean, the whole
neck part. Grant Gustin?
Grant Gustin. I mean, I like the Flash and BVS and, well, we actually saw him in his suit in the Suicide Squad. I like that because they make it where it's like, oh, it's aerodynamic. They're making it where like he played like science comes into it, where if he's gonna be moving that fast, like I like that just because it makes it where it's like more believable when it comes to if he's running around in this leather suit. If he's running that fast, he's gonna run right through them pants.
You know, Cisco kind of had an explanation. But we're not gonna get too much into the show. We're talking about Suicide Squad, but
I love it though.
Nonetheless, see, me personally, I don't like it. I feel like he just got an Iron Man upgrade and it wasn't needed. I don't know if that's just me. I don't think it was needed. The boys should be. All right, fight the flag. Let me talk to you. No, I'm just playing. But that's all we have right there. If we missed anything, put it down in the little comment section below. What did you think of Deadshot, Katana, Harley Quinn, Batman, Joker, everyone else? What did you think? Rick Flag.
With some dip.
What did you think of Rick
Flag? I don't know.
Boy, he got dip in his mouth. But whatever the case is, do what's right and hit like, and we'll see you next time.
This is Katana. She got my back.
This is Katana. She's got my back. She can cut all you in half with one sword stroke, just like mowing the lawn.
Man, Tom Hardy, where were you?